All right, well, this is my 6.2 video discussion and our last discussion for this course for ECO-410. My name is Megan LeBeau, and for my discussion, it says provide an overview of the industry that you chose and its overall importance to the healthcare sector. Part B says, discuss the way in which you feel your industry will be impacted over the next 5 years. For all of my assignments that we have done over the course, I didn't necessarily choose an industry. I didn't completely understand the directions, but I chose a common issue. And this discussion, I chose, there's kind of an industry that correlates with that. Fixing that issue, and that is the recruitment and hiring industry. In the past several years, there have been multiple chains of events which have put a strain on the number of healthcare providers in our world. The implementation of the Affordable Health Care Act, along with the recent addition of the infamous COVID-19 pandemic, have truly changed our healthcare system and created a real staffing problem. I've done a lot of research on the Affordable, Care Act, or, Obamacare, and it really, I think the heart was there. Let's get healthcare to everyone. But it has created a real problem, and that now that almost everyone can qualify for, healthcare insurance or whatever, now everyone is coming into the hospitals and facilities and clinics and all those different places with every little issue, and it's caused a real like a ratio gap. Like you have one nurse, they're put in charge of 150 however many patients. Our doctors and nurses and technicians, technologists, all that, they're working overtime, they're working, ridiculous hours, and some of that is just expected, like you're on call for different medical, careers, but it's kind of gone beyond that, kind of overboard since this act has been implemented. And then you add the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's only, really expanded on that problem because now everyone's getting sick, or businesses and different organizations are requiring testing. Different ones, want the vaccine, or, businesses are requiring the vaccine, or whatever the, different problem might be relating to that, has also caused even more patients to just keep, gathering into our healthcare facilities, and it's just really caused a strain on our current healthcare providers. Another problem is the number of medical students that we're currently waiting on to graduate can't keep up with the growing number of patients. The recruiting and hiring industry is a crucial industry to take care of this problem. Normally a recruitment hiring team is, responsible for staffing and maintaining of a team of employees within a business. This is also found in the healthcare world, and is probably even more important in the healthcare world. The recruitment and hiring industry uses multiple different avenues to hire into the healthcare sector in an effort to better serve their patients. They do this through online sites and job fairs, college interns, and different students, doing job shadowing, many other avenues. Different online sites might be like, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, stuff like that. You'll find lots of medical job listings on there, as well as job fairs. We had a job fair at my community college before Indiana Wesleyan, and at the end of the spring semester, we'd have different businesses, as well as different healthcare facilities. So we had Novant Health had a booth set up, and just different representatives would come, and they would tell all our students, like, hey, you just graduated from nursing school, you should apply, or you're a technician, we have openings for that specific position at our facility. It was very effective, I feel. I was friends with our career counselor, and she acted like that was one of the biggest things of the school year that helped her different students find a career. And it helps out the healthcare facility as well, because they're, looking for more and more employees and more healthcare providers so that they can better serve their patients. As well as, we have job shadowing and interning. I feel like this is probably one of the more effective ways of kind of getting new staff members on your team, because a lot of medical schools will require so many hours of job shadowing or so many hours of interning. And a lot of times, hospitals, if they can get kind of, a good word in with like the university or whatever, sometimes like there'll be like a mutual kind of agreement, like our students will, intern over here, shadow over here as part of their requirements. That kind of gives the student a feel for the facility, and it gives, the hospitals and the different facilities and clinics kind of a way of like, hey, this is what we have to offer. This is what the environment is like, check us out. All of this would be nearly impossible without our recruitment and hiring teams. Yes, we could do it, possibly, but it would be a lot harder and a lot longer of a process, because these teams are trained in how to hire, and they have all these different resumes and applications to go over and everything else. It would be a much more time-consuming process without an experienced team. This part B says, discuss the way in which you feel your industry will be impacted over the next 5 years. Honestly, I feel that the recruiting agencies are going to struggle more and more over the next 5 years. This COVID-19 virus has caused a lot of different issues for the healthcare system as well as the economy, therefore giving the healthcare system a lot of ground to cover in order to make up for these different issues. I believe that until we are past the coronavirus, it will be a bit of a challenge for recruiting agencies to hire on staff at different hospitals and clinics. The reason for this being a few different issues. First of all, medical school is expensive. Students are aware of this, and because of this fact, many students steer away from the medical field and turn instead to a career which requires less schooling and schooling that is more inexpensive. So the medical school is not very appealing in that regard. Another reason is because of COVID. The COVID itself, the coronavirus has implemented a lot of new policies and different procedures, making it harder and more aggravating to work in a hospital or clinic. The last reason is just the problem we're talking about itself, understaffing issues. Any student who has researched the medical field at all knows that there is an understaffing issue right now, and they know that the workload that comes with it is not going to be very appealing. It's not going to be a very easy job. The only way in which to fix this problem is to either increase the staff or reduce the number of patients. This can be accomplished by tightening up the requirements in order to receive government healthcare aid, as well as dividing patients into different categories. So, say you have all these different patients coming in for different needs. This one wants a vaccine. This one wants tested. This one needs a surgery. This one needs a very specific type of care. You can divide that up. So whatever your facility specializes in, keep those patients. But if you know of another hospital that maybe does not have as bad of an understaffing problem as you, but they specialize in a specific area, send those patients there. Not only is it helping your facility with their understaffing problem and their big, ratio of their, provider to patient, it's also helping the student, or not the student, it's also helping the patient, because they will be receiving better care potentially if that hospital specializes in their specific need. It's going to be a long process to get the healthcare world back where it needs to be. But with hard work and careful planning, I believe that it is possible. Thank you for watching my discussion.